All right, folks, I wanted to give you another video here to help out while we're in self-isolation and quarantine. Today this one will be about kind of stretching wrists and forearm a bit, help with issues around typing, can help be preventative if you're moving towards carpal tunnel, which I know a lot of us will probably be with all the computer work we're doing these days. So these are kind of warm-up and stretching exercises that you use in a lot of grappling arts that do wrist locks, arm locks, things like that. It's to help create limberness in those areas so you don't have a lot of injuries when you're training. But they can also be very helpful and productive just in general for limbering up these things. So I thought I'd share them with them so people can have some of those tools with them. If you're sitting around or spending a lot of time on the computer, you might be able to get up periodically or even just sitting at your desk and do some of these to help you out. These come out of a variety of grappling systems. I learned them originally in a system called Small Circle Jiu-Jitsu. I've had them reinforced through some Aikido training that I've done. Just about any grappling system that does these kind of stuff will have it. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, etc. So the first thing is going to be hands like prayer hands here, and you want to keep your palm heels, the meaty part of the bottom, together the whole way through. So you're holding your hands here and you're going to drop down as far as you can and keep those heels together. So if I get down here and my hands just come apart, I've probably gone too far. Right? This will help with forearm especially. Alright. Shake that out. Alright, so another version of this, or a different way of stretching the same area, is you take your hand, you put it out like this, palm upside down, like hi, but hi, here, alright? And I'm going to take this hand and put it across the fingers, so it kind of looks like this, and across, grab the fingers, and I'm kind of pulling back on the fingers as a mass. I'm not trying to do anything with the fingers, but it's really hitting the whole hand to pull backwards, and kind of projecting forward with the palm heel. Right? You get a nice big stretch in the forearm. Now, if you need some extra in there, you can take the arm that's being stretched and you can kind of drop the elbow, but don't lose the angle on the palm. So it's kind of creating a tighter angle here and getting more stretch. Right? You can do the same thing on the other arm. Get a nice big stretch. I'm going to drop my elbow there for a little extra. Alright, shake this out. Shaking out really works well when you're done with these. Kind of helps let go of the tension in that space that you stretched out. If anything gets kind of kinked, it can help just kind of loosen it up and shake back into its proper position. Another way, a little different here, so I'm going to put this hand here like this, kind of weird. It's like I'm leaning on the shelf, but this hand's going to be kind of pointed down. The other hand is just going to cover it. All right? And what I'm doing here is I'm pushing the hand here to create a tighter angle, right? So I'm pushing that in, and I really want the wrist to be the pivot point for my push. I'm not really just pushing the fingers and do anything, right? Just curls them up. And I'm like, hi guys, how you doing? That doesn't help, right? So kind of keep this a little bit stiff, and then try and fold the hand palm towards the wrist. And again, this might be really tight for a lot of people. A lot of people do these and they don't realize how tight they really are, and like hurts a lot right away. Some people are naturally really flexible in their joints, and some people do other kinds of things that allow them to create flexibility, and then they do these and they're like, oh, okay, it's a nice stretch, but it's not that burn. But if you're one of those people who has a lot of tension in your joints and is stiff, be gentle, right? If you feel it, use the stretch, but don't do it to the point of like you're crying or anything like that. Now on this, if I need a little extra stretch, I can do a similar thing that I did in the last one. I can drop the elbow. Don't let this positionality change and where I fold. So if I fold it into here, hold that in that position and then let the elbow drop. You see I get a little extra angle on that stretch, right? Shake that one out. We'll do the other one. So this arm here, leaning on my shelf, gonna take a nap, right? Fingers pointed down, a little bit stiff in here, and then try and fold that palm to the forearm. When I think I've reached about my limit, don't change anything in where the hands are positioned. And if you need a little more stretch, let that elbow drop a little. And oh yeah, I feel that a lot in my wrist. It's good. All right, so let that go. Shake it out a little bit. Ooh, that's kind of tense in there. My right wrist is a little more tense recently, so shaking them out. All right, so I'm gonna get a little bit complicated, so I'll walk you through how to accomplish the positions. This first one, hand's gonna go like this in front of you, like, you know, say the pledge, or you're gonna pat yourself on the chest. Oh, I'm a nice guy, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna curl that hand as much as I can, like I'm gonna try and point that way with my fingers. All right, so I'm curling that way. Take the other hand, all right, and I'm going to get close. Have this curl, all right? I'm gonna reach around with the hand here and grab the meaty part of the thumb. Show you here, right? And grab the meaty part of the thumb. I'm gonna leave my other thumb on the back of the hand, and I'm gonna kind of create a twist, right? Now that, some of you will feel that. That's not all I want to do. I kind of want to twist and send it at an angle. So if my forearm is here and I twist it, I want it to go diagonally across, like I'm going to the opposite side of my elbow, right? So I'm going to twist and kind of project over, like I'm folding the wrist down again, but with a twist, right? This will get a lot of folks. I learned an interesting lesson once working out with somebody who was a violinist that didn't work so well on the wrist that held the violin because they had super flexibility, but the other wrists it worked great on. So things like that. So we're here. All right, so you can shake that one out. So we're going to the other one. So I'm going to touch my hand. I'm going to slap the Mandalorian right in the face, and he's going to take it. And I'm going to do a little twist, grab the meaty portion of the thumb with my fingers, and leave my other thumb on the back here. Okay, and I'm going to twist, but I'm going to twist and project across to the outside part of my elbow. All right, I don't want to do this because it's really not creating any tension and getting any stretch, right? So leave my elbow where it's at and kind of let this twist and project towards the outside, really kind of stretch the wrist. This is a lot of wrist stretching. If you aren't used to it, you might get kinked up, you might be sore when you do some of this stuff, but it really can help keep you limber and loose. So I'm shaking out again after I'm done, right? All right, so stretch out those a little. So this next one, again, it's a little complicated to get into, so I'm gonna walk you through it. So put my arm up like I'm putting it on the shelf, like I'm gonna take a nap, right? But I'm gonna point my fingers forward, right? So I've got this angle, boom, boom. I want this angle to the shoulder, right? So I'm gonna put my other hand right on it, and I'm gonna turn my fingers down here and grab, I can leave the thumb out, it'll be easier that way. Grab this here, wrap my thumb around the top, right? So from this angle, see I've got boom, 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 all the angles. So I bring my other hand up here, and I wrap it underneath, with the thumb on top. I'll show you closer on this side. So parallel here, wrap my fingers underneath, and my thumb on top. right? Now what I'm going for is this, all right? And from the front, it'll look like this. Now some of you will feel this right away, and it'll be like, oh, all right? So without my elbow moving position, I don't want to go up here to let it off. I want this a little bit of a twist here so that I'm taking this grip and I'm using it to make the fingers point up without the rest of the arm moving, right? So you see how it's just my hand that's moving, right? All right, so once I have that feel, some of you will be hurting a lot already. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do it to the point of where I can feel the stretch, and that's like a millimeter, that's fine. And then I am gonna move everything additional. So I'm going to move my arms in a big circle. I'm going to move them out and up and back towards me. And this allows us to be a little gentler stretching without cranking on this. All right, from the side. So I want to have that tension in the wrist, so it does that. So check it out. And the length I'm doing it on each of these is for you to see. It's a good length, but it might be too long for some of you to hold it. So if it's too much, it's too much, right? Do it for shorter periods, work yourself into it, do it on a regular or semi-regular basis so you can build up the flexibility in the joint. All right, so we'll do the other side. Same thing, hands go underneath, or fingers go underneath, thumb wraps on top, get that to the point of tension, don't crank too hard. And now I'm going to make my big circles. These circles might have to be smaller for some of you. That's fine. Some of us might be able to make them really big and hold the crank. Ooh, I can feel that. All right. This, again, the amount of time I'm doing it might be too long for some of you. That's fine. Modify it to what your needs are right at the moment. All right. All right, shake those out. Shake them like a Polaroid picture. Okay. I'm dating myself, I know, it's corny. All right, so we've got another one here. This one's gonna be kind of the extra confusing one to do a little bit. So take my arm in a big circle, all right? So it's kind of, well, it's not really a circle, but like a fried chicken wing. So it's like I'm trying to rub my chin with my forearm because I've got gloves on and I'm out in the corona world and I don't want to touch my face, but I've got an itch, right? So I've got a hand up here, right? So I'm going to push the wrist out, right, as much as I can. So I'm almost doing the opposite of the one we twisted before, where I'm trying to twist this pinky back towards my chest. You're not going to be able to get very far doing it just by the hand. The other hand, I'm going to meet it here, right? Now, I can basically shake my hand. That's perfect for what we're going to do. Because if I can shake my hand, then what I can do is I can take those fingers and I can bend it, like I'm trying to bend the wrist towards the forearm, and twist. Now this is going to get some of you right away. Some of you find it hard to really find this. It's worth working on. The other part would be to project up through the elbow, like you're trying to move this through the elbow. All right. This is another really good stretch. Comes out of particular joint manipulation, but it's really good. Right? Confusing to get there, I know. I'm gonna shoot that one out. To the other side, I'm gonna bring the arm up here. I'm gonna scratch my face. I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna shake. I'm gonna shake myself. Nice to meet me. All right. So I'm gonna fold it back into the forearm, create a twist in the fingers, and project up to the elbow. So what I'm gonna show you here, right? So I'm shaking, trying to fold it, top of the hand to the forearm, twist the fingers, and project to the elbow. Now, kind of see here, bending it up, twisting the fingers and projecting up. All right. Folding it, twisting the fingers, projecting up. Most of you won't be able to do it as long as that, or you have to do it really gently. Totally understand. It's a lot because they're real stretches and stretches that most people have never done and don't know how to do, right? So I encourage you to work on these, be very gentle with yourself, doing a bit at a time as you can, but this can really help a lot with preventing things like carpal tunnel. So if you can take time periodically, do simple things like these, right? Get to your circle with your wrists, hands. Do the ones from my first video where you're doing finger ripples, right? It's always the pinky first, right? All these things can really help with the wrist and forearm flexibility and keeping them from getting repetitive usage injuries and stuff. So I encourage you to try them. If you got any questions, by all means, let me know. Thanks a lot.